Hello and welcome to another day of StarLadder Season 6, day number 18, game number 3 of a day where we're seeing 7 games in total, that's right. And so we have a lot of games to go, and we are here with 3 people to provide you with all the coverage that you need. We have got the person that you won't see nor hear. It is Hjort, this time also assisted by Maria. He's your stat man for today, or stat couple even, there you go. And of course, the one that you will hear is my co-caster. It is Kanaz. Welcome back to the broadcast, Kanaz.
Good to be back.
So 4FC versus Mousesports. I think on paper, clear favorite will be Mousesports. What are you expecting for this game?
Hoping for more, like, maybe unusual picks as teams are trying things out for the new patch. Of course, it's just starting today still. And it looked like Mousesports weren't even sure if we were playing on the new patch, since Syndrome was asking in the lobby whether or not we would be. So yeah, hoping to see some of these maybe new heroes tried out. We saw Crystal Maiden last game, that was fun. First game, was there anything unusual in the first game?
Yeah, the 4FC actually were the team that picked up the Timbersaw in that game.
Oh yeah, and
so
there's
we
a
might see
Morphling
them,
as well.
yeah, we saw Morphling as well. So we might see Timbersaw again, we might see Morphling again as well, as Morphling was the one that was used against 4FC, so they maybe realized a bit of his strength of Hjort. But we do have some standard bans. It is the Wisp banned out, the Kunkka targeted ban against Strengby, as he's been playing that Kunkka for a very long time. And we have still the Nature's Prophet banned out together with the Lifestealer this time. The Lone Druid though makes it through, goes the way of Mousesports, even without the armlet. Will still be a very potent hero to have on the offlane, and the Bat Rider still, of course, with his lasso, will be still a strong one to pick up for 4FC, with now a Nyx Assassin for Mousesports as well, so it's the Sin Nyx Assassin most likely in the Chen, going to 4FC, and we're back into the banning phases. Awesome.
Yeah, so only 2 picks, and then we get to banning again. And Bat Rider was bugged out last night. I'm hoping for 4FC's sake that it's fixed now. It had it so Napalm wasn't actually affecting turn rates. So that's kind of a big deal for Bat Rider, and kind of a little bit why he didn't get played for a long time. Was that it didn't really work on the turn rates correctly. So hopefully it's working right now, and they don't just have a hero that doesn't do as much as it's supposed to. And yeah, Chen pick up early as well. We are starting to see that more and more, it feels like, as teams are moving back into running these supports that can jungle. They get a little bit more farm on the map, and they have some stability in the fights as well as a result of that. And of course, his ultimate, very, very powerful in team fights to have the Hand of God. Yeah. It's like an additional mechanism for your team.
Yeah, we see on the bans nothing really spectacular. It is the Shadow Demon that still gets banned together with the Luna. And on the other side, 4FC take the Gyrocopter and the Keeper of the Light out of the equation. I mean, a Gyrocopter, or rather, Keeper of Light with a Nyx Assassin, you really don't want to be dealing with that. And even without the Gyrocopter there, Black will get to play one of his favorite carries. The Anti-Mage gets picked up by Mousesports.
Yep, so Black, we're going to get to see him farm. That'll be fun. And 4FC going to go with the Dragon Knight. And they ran that mid in that first game of the day, so probably looking to see that again this game.
Yeah, and it was up against the Puck that game. And, you know, despite being the lanes being, you know, on paper very much in favor of the Puck, he was able to hold his own and get his levels up at least. He wasn't able to get as much farm, of course, as the Puck, but even with that nerf on Bottle Crowing, I think he did pretty well.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, the nerf on Bottle Crowing doesn't absolutely destroy mid lane. I think it's more of a liability to your other lanes, if anything, because the Courier is in use for mid more often. Just a greater time, and that makes it harder for supports to get wards and the like, or if the carry needs to get something sent to him. So, well, I mean, that's, I think, the bigger issue, all things considered, and actually a Vengeful Spirit pick coming out from Mousesports.
Yeah, I like this a lot. A bit of an extra targeted stun. Of course, they didn't really need to in theory. You have got that Impale to set stuns up with. But really potent, and actually with her aura helping out that Lone Druid Bear a lot as well. So I'm kind of liking it. The exact changes for Vengeful Spirit were that her strength increase is a bit better, from 16 plus 2.3 every time to 18 plus 2.6, so everything all in all increased in terms of her survivability, then of course getting a bit more strength, a bit more HP, and her swap range got rescaled, but the differences aren't that much. I mean, it's a bit bigger on level 1 and level 2 and the same difference on, or same range at level 3. So it went from 600 to 650, and then from 900 to 925, and then both ending up in 1200. So the difference in that, not that big. But her survivability definitely something that will come to play, especially if the fights last longer, which with the Chen on the field will probably happen.
Yeah, Chen does a great job of extending fights. So Dragonite as well is a naturally very tanky hero because of the Dragon's Blood, and just has a good strength growth as a strength hero. So like fight's probably going to be rather extended, but right now Mousesports rocking the 4 agility lineup, which is not really something we see too often. But both their supports are even agility heroes. Usually we kind of see most of the popular ones are intelligence. So they're going to have good scaling later into the game for these fights. All of their heroes are going to be able to do pretty good right-click damage just by virtue of being agility heroes. They get attack speed with damage.
Yeah, we have some mid heroes getting banned out.
Yes.
Now there is a hero that got some buffs, and I'm really hoping that he manages to get his hands on an Aghanim Scepter, even though that might be slightly... Well, I say that might be slightly... I think it's a mid-aged apparition.
I'm hoping it's a mid-aged apparition. When they picked that up, I immediately thought, oh, well, that's going to be their mid-hero. But Nyx Assassin could do it as well. And Nyx, if he goes mid, I'll be really sad. But because Ancient Apparition used to be a mid-hero, like Dota 1 days.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. But it seems really strong, especially against a lineup that has Chen with Hand of God. If he gets the Ancient Apparition ult on heroes, that 17-second duration where they can't be healed, turns off Dragonite's regen, turns off Alchemist's regen now, turns off Chen's Hand of God. They'll probably have a mech, that'll be turned off as well. So that's a lot of heal that they're kind of relying on in HP regen, and Ancient Apparition is going to say nope.
Yeah, and of course, for people wondering, the exact changes to Ancient Apparition is that his Ice Vortex cooldown is increased, so or rather decreased from 5 to 6, from 6 to 5 seconds rather. So that is that one. His slow, that is. Of course, also his Ice Blast. Wow, his AoE is increased from 225 to 275. That's actually quite a big difference there. And he can now have an Aghanim Scepter, which will indeed increase that duration of the Ice Blast to 17 seconds, and that is a very long time that you put Chen out of play. So I'm really interested in seeing that. We are going to be seeing Fada playing the Ancient Apparition in the mid lane, picked himself up. The Null Talisman gets himself pulled. A Tango should be having a fairly decent lane up against a Dragonite, if that's indeed going to be the case for FC. We will be seeing Koikfa playing his Lone Druid on the bottom lane. On the top lane we'll have Black on his famed Anti-Mage, and oh my god, those blades are actually kind of cool. But are those
are
just
the
his
default
normal
ones. Yeah, those are the new default ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I haven't seen these before. The new default ones look cooler than anything with a set. That's awesome. We will see Paz playing his support Vengeful Spirit, and last but not least, it is Sin. It is Synderen playing the Nyx Assassin for Mousesports on the Dire side.
Yeah, so we do get to see the solo mid Ancient Apparition. That's going to look pretty cool. Radiant side, we're going to have 4FC. Blomberg is in the mid lane and Dragonite again, not too surprising there. Clearly, he's their off lane, but he's going to mostly be jungling on this Bat Rider. And then their defensive tri lane, Iconoclast Matron, he'll be on Rubik. Burbomb is Boomski, right?
Yes.
On the Chen, and finally, who's now Carl Philip String B on the Alchemist.
It's a very, educated name. Carl Phillips.
It does sound very proper.
Yes. Well, he'll be having a lot of free farm here. He has, he has got that bear up against him, so he will be forced to last it under his tower, but he should be able to do that just fine. And he really realizes that he is going to be in that heavy farming role, so he picks up Grievel's Greed as his first level, so his net worth will be skyrocketing if he can continue to keep that kind of last hitting up. In the meantime, also a free farming Black on the top lane, and that is not something that you want to be seeing if you're up against him, but apparently 4FC confident that they can take him on. And we'll have to see though how far they can get ahead before Black is big enough, because that's basically the one thing that you'll be looking for. 4FC, they need to try and make something happen and get an advantage before Black is big enough, because if there's not an advantage, which we're going to be looking at for towers, for example, if there's not an advantage while Black is having free farm and gets, of course, his flash farming going and is done farming, then 4FC will be out of this game real fast.
Yeah, we're gonna... This is really bad, I can't see anything. Well, that doesn't seem good. Black free farming, it's... Anime just won't get as much farm as a free farming Alchemist, pretty much. So we're gonna see if he can get ahead, and really, realistically, what Alchemist is going to do to stop it. It's just gonna come down to Alchemist. He needs to use his free farm to try and make something happen before the Animage gets Battle Fury and like flash farms up a couple big items. Because even with the Battle Fury, Animage really not capable of fighting very well. Usually needs Yasha, maybe even finished Manta, and maybe another thing. It's picked up before he can start getting involved in team fights. And by that time, Alchemist should have like a whole nother item on him if they're getting similar levels of farm. So we'll see exactly what ends up happening, what items Stringbeat decides to pick up, if he's going to go like Shadow Blade Rush and try and get really aggressive, maybe try and set up ganks on the Alchemist, or Anti-Mage, or if he's going to go really, really hard carry build, maybe build a Battle Fury of his own, and just try and farm until he gets 6 slotted and Anti-Mage is at like 4.5, 5 items finished.
Yeah, by the way, a bit of a disclaimer before we actually continue. I mean, if you see me real awkwardly boxing heroes, that is because there is a bug right now that doesn't allow me to target click any heroes. And 15-0 Anti-Mage up against Alliance is not a team that is that you can underestimate. 15-0 means that, you know, you didn't shut that Anti-Mage down at all. And that showed. We are seeing a gank already though. Mousesports with the combination Vengeful Spirit, voted once for the most, well, the best roaming hero, kinda, of course, with her fast stun. She can set a lot of things up, but Blumberg, not letting himself get caught out. He does have a ward there, but he didn't see it in time, I think. They might be trying again, though. Cinderin's still here. We'll be placing a center ward if he can, if he wants to, but might just be continuing to go. And Blumberg just being really, really careful right now, and rightfully so.
Yeah, he's playing it safe, and really he has to play it safe. He doesn't want to give up a kill that he doesn't need to. Fado was getting harassed by the tornado from Chen. Super annoying in the mid lane. I think it used to be pretty much the worst thing. Maybe it's a little bit better that than the Harpy nowadays. That Harpy, that's that really Harpy. Annoying.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But no Harpy for Boomski, so unfortunately for him that. And by the way, we have Black farming between the tier 1 and tier 2 of his enemy team. Nobody is coming to do anything about it. Black sitting at 20 for 1, highest last hitter on the map right now, with Strangby still sitting on 16 for 3. So I mean, it's scary to see that happening. We know what can happen if Black gets free farm. The question is, how strong is 4FC's plan to deal with a free farming Black?
Yeah, Black hasn't missed any last hits at all, I don't, right now. See 22. He's missed 1.
We see
so it's doing pretty well.
Smoke up, they want to go for Fada. Of course, Ancient Separation doesn't really have a run or an escape mechanism. Blumberg needs to run for the Dragon Tail. Can run fast enough. Does get the stun. Centaur stun will follow up. This should be the first blood. Telekinesis comes in as well. And that is the first blood taken by Blumberg with the Breath of Fire.
Dragon draws first blood.
And the dragon draws first blood, indeed he does. So, nice setup gank, and the gank of 4FC more successful than the gank of Mousesports that we saw earlier, obviously.
Yeah, they were just able to get closer simply because Ancient Apparition is slow. He has a 295 base move speed, and Blomberg, with the boots, was quite fast, able to just get in range for the Dragon Tail to set things up, which makes things a little bit difficult for him. Fata, Cinderin, they're running for the rune. Iconoclast Major is currently sitting there trying to stall it up, but
yeah, the cold feed is there. It's forcing Blumberg to walk a bit further, but in the end, nothing really major happens and everybody is able to back themselves off. The tier 1 tower top did go down though, and that was Black also taking the last hit of the tower. He is just a one-man army right now, and I do mean a one-man because there's really nobody else here, not from his team, not from 4FC, and he's just doing what he wants to do, and I'm kind of scared for 4FC right now.
Yeah, Black has a lot of last hits for 5 minutes into the game. He's just not really missing them, and he got a tower as well. His net worth is, his gold per minute's 500 at 5 minutes basically. That's really, really high. And Black just continues showing off his stuff when it comes to farming, and Strangby not keeping up, even maxing Greevil's Greed.
Yeah, even his net worth is not as high as that of the anti-mage, and they look like they want to try and fight though. Synderen already uses Spike Carapace, will get stunned and actually will drop as well, as Strangby will take the last hit, so that will put him actually ahead of Black on his anti-mage in terms of net worth. And the support's finally paying off here on this bottom lane for 4FC. Of course, it means Strangby is still fighting up against that druid, against the lone druid that is.
Top lane.
Oh,
he's gonna get away.
Should be
Billy was real low, yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising to see that Krilly actually built himself a bottle, or picks himself a bottle up. I mean, we know that the bottle got nerfed in a way, and the one thing that I heard from that is that it will mostly affect getting multiple bottles, so that you can't really run the courier all over the map with empty bottles, picking them up at one place, etc. But they still pick one up on the Bed Rider. It will just allow him to really just be in the jungle and continue to get his farm and his levels without really being shut down too much. But it will also slow down the mid lane, as of course Blumberg, he needs that bottle crowd too. He actually picks up a double damage rune, so more rune control for this Dragon Knight. And up against an Ancient Declaration, it should actually be fairly simple to continue to get the rune control, even though right now Synderen picked the regen rune up just to deny it to Blumberg.
Yeah, just making sure that they can test runes, and it's like, it's just interesting how much harder it seems like.
Pass. Here comes the magic missile. Ancient Declaration ulti will fly in. Ice Blast. Telekinesis is gonna be there. Maybe Blumberg will be able to get away. Doesn't look like Iconoclast will be as lucky though, as Fada gets a kill credit for that one. Blumberg safe. In the end, a good sacrifice for 4FC, rather losing that support than losing their solo mid. But still losing someone, not something that you want to have happening.
Yeah, they lose a hero. It's first kill for Mouz, but it does help them kind of get a little bit more money, and they are already ahead in gold with that anyway, so just the experience that they can gain, definitely relevant for these supports.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in terms of levels, we've Synderen almost level 4 right now on his supports, a Vengeful sitting at almost level 5, as we do have an Entangle in the meantime up on Strangby. We'll be able to land the stun. It looks like the Bear might be able to finish the job. There he goes, one more Entangle, does the job indeed. Koikfa with the kill up on the Alchemist, and this will be the difference between Black and the Alchemist. Strangby, he's up against someone. Black, he's just able to farm away, nobody there trying to stop him from doing his thing.
It's really hard to imagine what their plan is. They're not doing anything to Black at all. They're not even, they're like ignoring that he's even on the map, and now he's almost taken this tier 2 tower. It's sitting below 30 HP. Finally someone pouring up to top lane. It's Alchemist.
Well, that will only put them like contesting each other for farm, and right now Anti-Mage is definitely ahead with his mobility, with his ability to just also harass Strangby a bit more. And yeah, Synderen fighting up against his former teammate Iconoclast, Matrim, or of course an MTW for some time as well, after winning DreamHack Winter 2011 already. That was a while ago. It was the first tournament that I watched of Dota 2. Ooh.
Yeah, been a while since then, but they're friends, so.
Yeah. Oh, they go for Blumberg again, and this is a clear kill. No hope for this one. Nice kill for Fada. Very nice kill.
He manages to hit him with the Ice Blast this time. Last time I don't think it actually dealt the damage. He got out of the AoE. But Ice Blast does a good amount of damage, and of course the Shatter effect, very useful for trying to just pick him off. And I don't think they're actually going to be able to push this tier 1 tower in. Yeah, they're just going to de-ward.
Lane, Lasso being used. Koikfa in a lot of trouble here. Will be standing in fire. Flame Break helping out as well. He does almost get the kill up on Boomski though, but not enough. 19 HP left on Boomski. Was able to survive. He is not level 6 yet, so Hand of God wouldn't have been there to help him out. But the lone druid goes down.
Tower is under attack.
Yep, so they get a good gank off on the lone druid in the bottom lane. Bat Rider uses the lasso for that. Not particularly close to his Blink Dagger yet, still several 100 gold, over 1,000. So it's going to be a little while before we see that from him, but if he can get kills like that without the Blink Dagger, it's very good for him. And I think they used the net from the Dark Soul Summoner to set it up. Yep. Kind of surprised to see Quakeflow was walking around in not ultimate form though. I think he might have been able to survive that, or at least get the kill on Boomski before he went down, if he had just been in melee form.
is under
It
attack.
looks like Curly wants to continue pushing here a bit. I don't think he'll get the tower, and he might actually be in some trouble if that bear comes back in a couple of seconds. Of course, the summon was on cooldown after Koifa went down, but he will have it back right now. So entangles are plenty for everybody again. We do have a rotation from Blumberg. Rotates into the jungle. Actually, it's not that much of a rotation. I was gonna think maybe he wants to go bottom because I mean you're right. You said like they're not doing anything right now, and I mean they're doing like they're getting farmed. They're trying to get some kills, great, but they're not really starting their total plan of how to beat Black's anti-mate. Like maybe push in right now with a 5-man push and try to get kills and try to get that advantage on the map that you need to have to take down a free farming anti-mage. I'm kind of wondering when we're gonna see that, so I'm kind of anticipating that one, as we do have the Bat Rider being sent to base apparently, so no real extra movements coming in from 4FC yet.
Yeah, they're sitting and kind of farming. Alchemist making his way back out of top lane. He does have that Midas pickup, which helps him get additional farm, propel him up to where he can contest the Anti-Mage, but he really is kind of behind still. He decided to kind of back off of the Grievel's Greed build and went for some more points in Unstable Concoction. So sitting at 2 in Acid, 2 in Greed, just somewhat unusual, I think, that he would decide to pick up a second point in Acid Spray. Usually we see Grievel's Greed just get maxed out after Unstable Concoction, even if you want that spell first. But still farming pretty well. He's in it, and AAL flying towards the bottom lane.
They're gonna hit up on a lot of people. This is the start of the push for 4FC. So they start off with already having that Frostbite up on them. That's not ideal in the slightest. Should be able to take the tower though. I mean, if they don't, they're gonna have 5 people sitting here doing nothing. Fortification comes out. We have 3 people hanging around here from Mousesports. We'll be trying to get the deny and might even try to go for a kill. There goes the Hand of God. Deny still from Vengeful Spirit. That's worth dying for a pass. Now you can relax, and you did your job. Nicely done. Blumberg does get the kill. We are gonna see the push continue. Probably this time without Strangby though. We're TPing back towards the top lane to stop Black from taking down the tier 2. Impale will hit upon Krilly. Krilly has got his last 2 though. Will fly out. There goes another Ice Blast. Can they try to get some kills? No, they are just on the retreat. They do force Black in though, and Black TPing in here. And the only thing he gets is 3 creeps. That's not worth it. That's not 2 creeps even. That's not even covering his cost to get here in the first place.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Black went in. I think maybe he was expecting 4FC to commit a little bit harder, or maybe someone on his team implied that 4FC was committing pretty hard there, but Black just ends up wasting a little bit of time. He's pretty close to Battle Fury at this point, like 1,000 gold away. Exactly 1,000 gold. So he's going to have it in the near future. That's a pretty fast Battle Fury. Not the fastest of all time, but he also has like the power tread that's picked up. And usually when we see the really, really fast Battle Furies, it's just like Tranquils or Brown Boots, if Boots at all.
Yeah, it's a very fast one, just to go straight for that. But yeah, Black, he's had a good time, picked himself up the Claymore indeed, about now 800 gold, and then he'll have it. He actually jumped himself into the jungle and get himself some farm before he went back all the way to the top lane. So yeah, that was a bit of a wasted excursion from Black, but in the end, I mean, also Strangby not really using his time to the fullest. He did get that Midas cooldown up. He has got 2,600 gold. I think a lot will depend what 4FC is planning on what we're gonna see picked up by Strangby here. Will he pick up that Shadow Blade, indicating that he wants to already fight like right now rather than waiting for late game, or is he gonna go for a bit of a later game build? I mean, already picking up a Hand of Midas already says maybe a bit late game, but we'll see what he goes for with that gold, as he does actually purchase something, and it is the start of a Shadow Blade. It is a Shadow Amulet picked up by Strangby on his Alchemist, so Shadow Blade will be coming there, and perhaps we'll wait for that before they start trying to 5-man push the tier 1 tower on the top and middle lane, as those 2 towers should be in line next for them to take down.
Yeah, well, if that's all they're waiting for, he has it now. So
Yep.
he'll have that Shadow Blade to start getting involved in the fights. I kind of imagine they want a little bit more on Alchemist. He can start trying to make things happen though if he ends up near lane farming and someone shows up. He can try and set up a kill that way with just the Unstable Concoction Shadow Blade kind of combo. But sort of expecting them to make a move on Black soon. That Battle Fury is 50 gold off at this point, about to be finished. Ice Blast gonna miss mid lane.
Yeah, they still maybe want to try to take down that Centaur of the Chen, as that is an Ice Blast stolen, by the way. But another deny on the tower. Cinnamon could also die a happy man. The swap was there. Vengeful Spirit once again with the swap. Well, the first time that we actually saw the swap, but again, he gave his life for the good cause. That's what a Vengeful Spirit does. The good old Vengeful Spirit. There is a push now on the tier 2. I mean, tier 1 in the end did go down. Battle Fury now up on the Anti-Mage. And Tangle up on Iconoclast. Matrim in a lot of trouble. Trying to get himself out of there. Is gonna get sent home. Should be living and won't be living. Will die. Sent home off Boomski. Not fast enough. Black jumping himself in there. Will be dealing with a dragon though. As a dragon will be hit by the Ice Blast just as Bourbon is. So no Hand of God to help him out. No nothing to help him out actually. As Chen just goes down completely. With Black getting himself a kill here. It is 5-5 on the kill score. And 4FC, I mean, they tried to push again. The two towers that are down now on the side of Mousesports, both denied. And that is, I mean, you want to get an advantage at this point of the game, and they're not getting it right now. The gold graph still in favor of Mouz with 1k. Experience graph still in favor of Mouz. I mean, the differences are not that big. But right now, you need to be not even, you need to be ahead.
Yeah, they need to try and take an advantage because late game. So really, what it comes down to is who would you bet on, Anti-Mage and Lone Druid, or Dragon Knight Alchemist, and with like similar levels of farm. And I think most people would probably say Anti-Mage and Lone Druid, because Anti-Mage is going to get a lot of farm quickly, anyways, do a lot of damage in fights, and eventually, when like Anti-Mage starts trailing off. By that time, you expect Lone Druid to be very farmed. He'll be doing a ton of damage.
Lasso, Cinnamon in a lot of trouble, will go down. Vendetta being used, but the sentry was on par. Nicely picked up by 4FC. In the meantime, there is also Blumberg in a lot of trouble though, and he's trying to run himself away. Ice Blast will hit, the stop is there to keep him in range. Dragon Tail will stun up on pass. Looks like Blumberg might be able to live through that though, won't get shattered there, so will live. And of course, I mean, you said, I mean, yeah, Anti-Mage and Lone Druid up against the Dragon Knight and the Alchemist. And with Koikfa sitting at an 8-1 record, according to Statsman Hjort. Yeah, that is definitely not an easy target to take. 8-1 is his record on the Lone Druid. That's very successful. He might not be, you know, he's not an Admiral Bulldog perhaps, but the stats don't lie for sure. So a really strong player. And I find it interesting to see that he went for a Maelstrom up on his bear. Of course you can't do for an armlet anymore because that HP will actually tick down now with the armlet activated. But a Maelstrom, still a very strong item. Also a very early game item, allows him to be in fights a lot early on, doesn't really rely on him getting extra farm. And it just allows Black to take up all the farm on the map, as he can do that with his flash farming abilities. And already now Lone Druid being very effective with the split pushing as well, as we're just, you know, overall doing AoE damage with his lightning bear.
Yeah, going for Maelstrom, pretty much exactly what you would expect now that Armlet's been nerfed. No one's gonna want to micro the Armlet on the bear to try and like allow him to do damage that way. So Maelstrom was kind of the build before that, since Radiance Lone Druid has been phased out for quite some time. So nothing too surprising there to see Quake just go for the fast Maelstrom. Probably ends up going for AC after this. Unlikely that he'll finish it into a Mjolnir, simply because you want it on the bear, and the bear can't actually use the Mjolnir buff.
Yeah, in the meantime, a tier 1 tower taken by Black once again. All towers that are down on the side of 4FC are all taken by Black, all the last hits. He now has a Yasha as well. I mean, he hasn't died, he's only taken that one kill that we of course saw on the Chen earlier on, as Skrilly is trying to run himself away. Oh, he runs right into the hands of Black. Tried to steal it with the Mana Void, but won't be able to do it. Actually, might still be. Yeah, there we go. Kill steal. Well, as an anti-mage, it doesn't really count as a kill steal, because of course you can't take the skills here. You're an anti-mage. Whoa. Looks like Fana has found himself some trouble, but he'll TP to the tier 2. Tier 1 tower. I think the first time that is not going to get denied here for 4FC. They will take it down, but they'll trade it for their own tier 1 on the bottom lane. And this one, Lone Druid actually gets the last hit off because Black was farming in the forest.
Yep, A-Mage continuing to farm Black. He's got over a 1k net worth lead on the Alchemist, and that's pretty big. Especially considering that Stringby went Midas and also has some points in Greevil's Greed. He's continuing to max like Acid and Greevil's Greed in turn, which is somewhat strange.
Yeah, we have got two people here from Mouz. One already TP'd out. We saw 4FC trying to pressure Mousesports into coming back to their mid lane. We're trying to pressure the tier 2 tower a bit, but not as successful. I mean, in the end, they do back away from the tier 2, but it does still take quite a bit of damage. We've got Blumberg. I mean, he was a solo mid. Dragon Knight he hasn't really got that much. Like, the start of a BKB is not there, for example, as that is something that you would maybe expect from a Dragonite at this point. But 1800 gold, he can already start with it. It looks like he wants it, or at least I would expect it. Yeah, there we go. The Ogre Club is there, so that is the start of the BKB. But not really ready just yet. And I mean, it keeps saying, this anti-mage, it's a ticking time bomb for 4FC right now, and I don't know how much longer they can really wait with trying to get something more. Wait a second, in the mid lane we do have a last two. It is Father that they have, and take down as well. Blomberg with the Breath of Fire once again securing a kill. 4 people of 4FC in the mid lane with a 5th one on the way. Strangby a bit trailing, but will probably join his team in a moment. Tier 2 tower will still drop, and this is a push. They need this, they know that too. If Mousesports are gonna defend.
Yeah, they're trying to go for tier 3 even. They'll get only a little bit of damage on it. I don't expect Mouse to just let it go down though, even with the Ancient Apparition dead. But in the meantime, Anti-Mage, he's pushing bottom lane, or top lane, now porting back.
Yeah, look at this. There's no fortification. This tower is actually gonna drop. Rex, really? Wanna try that? Let's try that. But here comes Black though. He has got that Manta Style right now. Nice 2-man impale of the 2 target heroes. Here comes the Ice Blast as well, not doing as much though. Hand of God still going through for some people as Blomberg trying to get away from this fight. We already have an Ancient Apparition shattering 2 supports. Well, one Blomberg, the other one, the Chen. There also goes Matrim. There also goes the... the Alchemist. Triple kill going the way of Fada, and the last one alive is Krilly, who was able to TP himself out, but oh my god, that was a triple kill for the Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast with Aghanim Scepter confirmed.
He didn't actually have the Aghanim Scepter. He just got it right now, but...
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but he got a triple kill without the Aghanim Scepter. That means he's going to have that in these additional fights. I think his Ice Blast only hit on... Slum... Oh my god,
yeah, it didn't hit everybody. It only hit on the Dragonite, you're right.
Blomberg, yeah, I think it only hit Blomberg. Dragonite. So, I mean, it led to him getting killed, but Black did go down in that fight. Mouse only lost 1 hero, I believe, and it was Anti-Mage, which is the least ideal hero to lose in a fight.
Yeah.
But they do take a big fight, they defend their racks. They lost the tier 3, which maybe they didn't have to do. I think they were just waiting for Ancient Apparition to respawn before they wanted to try and force the issue.
Yeah, and they got a tier 2 on the top lane in return as well, and now with Black having that Manta Style, the split pushing that will come up from that is of course very potent, and even if he died, he still was able to buy the Manta Style, of course, before that fight. This is the first time Ancient Apparition picks up an Aghanim as well. Big surprise, as before this patch, this of course didn't do anything just yet, and now it increases the duration of the Ice Blast to 17 seconds. Lasso blink in, catches himself Cinderin, Test of Fate there as well. Ice Blast will whiff, and that's a kill for Iconoclast for this one. They don't get the Roshan though, they don't get anything in return. The Aegis is up on Black. Even though they did manage to take him down in the previous fight, it will be a lot tougher this time, and even if you do, you have to kill him another time. And 4FC, I mean, I'm kind of impressed that they still took the tier 3. So who knows, maybe next time they'll barrel through mid. Mousesports will also have a bit of a delay in trying to counter-fight that, and might even lose a Rax. And I think even if they do that, 4FC is still in a bit of trouble with Black still happily farming, but I mean, it's the right thing to do for 4FC right now.
Yeah, 4FC, it's really surprising me if they got the tier 3 in the mid lane, just nothing. Mouse didn't do anything about it, but it's a really big pickup for them. Now they have those exposed ranks in the mid lane, and of course, if they ever manage to take a fight here, they're not really behind that far from Mouse in terms of kills right now. But if they ever take a fight, especially on their side of the map, those ranks probably going to go down pretty quickly. They have a decent pushing team. Dragonite, of course, a pretty good pusher with the level 2 Dragon form. We see the Chen has creeps that usually helps.
Look at the HP of Chen.
Yeah, I was watching.
This is just one Ice Blast from full HP. Boom. 300.
And he can't even do anything. He can't mech. He can't hand a god anything.
No. Only thing would be TPing out. We do have a fight though. Last 2 hits upon Cinderin. Taking a lot of damage. Will be dropping there as he buys back. Wants to be in this fight as the swap is there to swap Fada into safety. Strangby in a lot of trouble. Gets stunned up. Will go down. Quake fight killing spree as he takes the last hit for that. Clearly fighting himself. Flying away from the fight. Ice Blast will not hit apart from the aura, of course, that flew over him. The damage at least not going through. Mana Void up on Iconoclast, who will take a fall here at the back end of the fight. It is a 2-for-1 trade because in the end, Fada still went down. That was Rubik still there to take the kill from him. He had Vendetta stolen, so that was the one that he used to get Farah there. But Mousesports convincingly taking a fight.
It's actually 2 for 2. Cinder and Dynan bought back.
Oh yeah, of course, 2 for 2. Well, still, Mousesports getting the better of that. They'll take the tower. Fortification actually being used as well.
Yeah, and with that glyph down, they can keep going. Really gonna get swapped in.
Oh yeah, that's one dead Bat Rider.
And these heroes, Black and Quakeba, do so much damage right now. They might want to back off because they're running low on HP, and it looks like in fact they will. But they're starting to hit really hard. Bear? It's so hard to select the bear right now. The Hyperstone up on the bear, he's getting, and a Basher. He's hitting really hard, and Anti-Mage, of course, he's got 4,000 gold. So we'll see what he picks up next. It's gonna be Heart, Butterfly, something probably that gives him some survivability.
Yeah, I think Heart wouldn't be that bad, but Butterfly, yeah, just as good. I mean, it really depends what he wants. He is way ahead of everybody right now. I mean, he is about 4k gold ahead of the Alchemist. So yeah, looking pretty good. He has the luxury to just decide what he wants to do, and he actually bought something. It is the recipe for the Heart. So Heart is going to be his item of choice as Strangby is charging up his stun, looking for Vision though. Doesn't have it and will stun himself in the end. Quakefighter has no idea that this was happening. He's just farming creeps.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, he just happened to be walking to the jungle at the time and managed to fog Stringby before he could get the unstable concoction off. It's really kind of unfortunate for him. I think they would have probably been able to get that kill on Quakeva if the unstable concoction hits. But he gets away, and Lone Druid just going to keep farming in the meantime.
Yeah, no rush, I would say, for the Lone Druid at least. For FC, though, in a bit of a rush. The question is, what are they waiting for right now? Because which item do you think that will make the difference for them to be allowing them to go high ground? As the Heart is complete up on Black already. He doesn't have buyback because of it, though. We do have the BKB up on the Dragon Knight. Alchemist has got his Assault Cuirass. Is this the time that they go for it?
Well, they do have a lot of big items that just got picked up recently. The BKB, of course, on Dragon Knight is a huge pickup. It's going to help him just stand in the middle of these fights and try to do damage. But kind of having the problem he had last game with Dragon Knight, where he really doesn't hit very hard right now, and he's playing from behind once again. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Alchemist, he probably needs something like a Basher. He's got a lot of attack speed right now, but he needs damage as well as maybe some lockdown if they really want to try and fight this anti-mage.
Yeah, as Black is already laying down some pressure here on the tier 3, even if 4FC really wanted to go for that mid lane push. They are forced back right now by Black. And by the way, as Asad just said, Mousesports sitting on 5-0 against Swedish teams. So of course 4FC is a Swedish team, Alliance is a Swedish team. 4FC are the Swedes killers right now. And right now they don't really look like they are in any state to break the curse. As Mousesports is ahead by almost 10k gold, experience 14k in favor of Mousesports. So looking really solid for them, and it's just a matter of waiting it out and trying to wait until 4FC tries to make the moves, because they are the ones who are forced to make the moves because they can't sit around forever, as you already, like we already pointed out earlier. Anti-Mage Lone Druid up against Alchemist Dragon Knight. 4FC not really in favor there.
Yeah, and I don't know, they're kind of just playing from behind, and eventually Ancient Apparition's gonna hit level 16, have that level 3 Ice Blast. With 17 duration, it's already kind of unmanageable for them. They have to be careful not to get picked off because Chen can't save really anyone with heals. You try and send someone back to base, but that's really all he's got going for him.
Yeah, and like the tornadoes for the Chen, just trying to force them back. We already see the tower sitting at half HP there, so not ideal in the slightest, as Mousesports not backing off yet. I mean, they still have this initiation from Pass, he can swap someone out. He has got a Gem of Truth set as well, as have to be carrying that he doesn't swap himself into too much trouble to you know, save himself from going down and feeding a gem to 4FC. But yeah, they're looking solid. They don't have Black right now because Black decided to push the top lane out, push the middle lane out rather, and farm some in the jungle while the rest of his team is waiting for the next creep wave, which is gonna come in soon. So he'll be back here for the push. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, the bear just kind of laying into it. They're gonna get the kill, and of course that's triple gold now with the 300 gold bounty on the bear. Gave it to, I think Quilly got the last hit.
Good.
So he gets a lot of gold out of that, and the bear gonna have to be resummoned by Quakeba. So probably going to be a little bit more careful. The AC is finished on Lone Druid now, which also helps with the push, but they don't want to lose this bear again.
No, for sure not. Because, I mean, we see the net worth. We see that that Lone Druid is second highest. If you lose the bear, that gold has gone to waste, and that's not somewhere where you want to be. But let's see what they can do. Of course, if they do shut down the bear, they'll still have black pushing on the tower, who's now taking down the creep, so making sure that there's not going to be a creep wave hurting him right there. Nice AoE stun coming off from the Alchemist. There is a swap in though. Strangby is the one they want. Impale goes out as well. We see Fuss. He's taking a lot of damage. Will end up dropping. Strangby gonna be sent home. So Chen making sure that his team doesn't all die. They do take down Black. 2 for 1. As Strangby is still on the floor. The send home with the Ice Blast. Still not really enough to save him. And Mousesports, they back off.
He gets sent home and dies anyways because you can't even heal in the fountain when you have Ice Blast on you. So he just dies.
A good defense coming off from 4FC though. They take down the Anti-Mage. They take down the Vengeful Spirit. The gem will still be in the hands of Mousesports, I believe. Yeah, Koikfa managed to pick that one up, so Pasi died a bit outside the base. Not giving that kind of map control to 4FC, but picking up Black there with the heart, quite nice to do. And even trading it for that Alchemist, not really too bad for them at all.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that Mouse decided to farm with the Aegis, and then as soon as the Aegis like wears off, that's when their push timing was. I think it's maybe a little bit sloppy in terms of deciding to push then, but that's sort of just what the story ends up being there. Anti-Mage, she didn't have Aegis anymore, and it gets focused down, and they are forced to back off with Anti-Mage down, even though they do get the kill on the Alchemist, and kind of just end up trading carry for carry, with Pods going down and the Venge is like negligible in terms of actual game importance right now.
Yeah, and they do, I mean, they defend their base. They're not able to push out from it, and the next time Mousesports is going to be a bit more tanky, a bit more farmed up. I mean, it is still not an easy fight for them, and even though they defended their base, they still have their tier 3 tower down to about 370 HP, and next time the tower will go down, and even if, I mean, the siege with the bear, even though they can pick up the bear real quick, as we've seen, slowly but steadily your base will die.
Yeah, definitely, and they're going to have double bear again, so they're going to be willing to just like throw one bear to trade for the tower once again, and probably expecting to see that go down in the next fight, even though they should. Do they have Glyph already? Yeah, they'll have Glyph for it. Probably just going to wait though for Roshan to respawn and try and get an Aegis up on presumably Black at this point.
Ooh, that's interesting to note. Slightly a buff for the Alchemist right there, as we've just seen the effects of that, of course, killing the Dragon Knight. Oh, the Alchemist rather. Yeah.
Right.
All their
and here, Roshan respawns, so we're gonna see him go for it. Krilly already coming in.
Flame Break doesn't get Black up on the high ground, does force him out though, as in they don't want that. In the meantime, last two will hit up on the bear. Koikfa taking a lot of damage. He'll be out of the fight already. No more bear to deal with that, as Koikfa's dominating streak ended. Extra gold going to Matron. BKB being used for that by Blumberg though. And I think even maybe without the bear, are Mousesports gonna fight this? Knowing that Anti-Mage is just so incredibly fat, as he also now picked himself up some evasion. Oh, that is gonna be Iconoclast already down. Dragon Tail still hits on the right. Right Anti-Mage, he's flying. Swap there. And a stun. And Blumberg impaled. Dead. No BKB to save his life.
And that was really good play by Paz. He actually swapped one of the anti-mage illusions to get in range for the stun, and then lands the stun. That's the kill on Blomberg because he uses BKB when he really didn't need to, just to kill that lone druid. They could have gotten that kill without BKB used on Dragon Knight, but he really wanted to ensure the kill. Didn't want anyone coming in like an invisible Nyx assassin or something, saving the lone druid and maybe throwing his own life away, or a swap from Paz or anything like that.
And in the end, it's a good trade for Mouz, losing the lone druid to get Blomberg as well as Matron and an Aegis on top of that one. So looking good for Mousesports once more, as we're probably going to see them preparing for the next push. They do have the lone druid back as well. They'll probably want to wait until they have two bears though. As you already pointed out, you want to be able to waste one in theory on on an important building, be that a tower, be that a Rax. Even if it's 300 gold right now, 300 right now at this stage doesn't really mean that much. You're still 7,500 gold ahead, even if you lose 300 gold to your opponent. And what can they do with it right now? I mean, what big items are close to coming for 4FC? They need to save for buyback. They don't really have that. We have Alchemist building towards a BKB. Almost as a complete, actually. We'll be able to pick it up in just about 70 gold or so and might just pick it up off the bat. The trouble is he won't have buyback if he does, and he'll probably want to have buyback for sure.
Yeah, the buyback probably not as important as having something like a BKB though. Just because even if he buys back, if the rest of his team dies, he's not going to be able to do a lot. He's not going to survive in these fights against all the stuns that Mouz can really throw out. Unless he has something like that BKB, they're going to initiate on black, but they're going to lose to tier 3. Denied from Alchemist, actually.
Well, nicely done. It's not really the gold that Mousesports wants right now, though. They want just the buildings. They want the control. Now they have it, and wait for the next creep wave. We'll send in everything again. We'll have the mana to sell up in 18 seconds once again from the anti-mage to help push. Synderen also now able to use his Vendetta because there's no detection anymore with the tier 3 tower down, and actually no sentry ward down either. Impale, wait on Strangby, blink in, Strangby taking a lot of damage, will go down, buys back instantly as Blomberg tries to find a target to kill, but everybody just escapes and won't be able to do anything. Last two hits up on the support, Vengeful Spirit, well that one is dead. At least that's what they get. They do still keep their racks though, and that is important to note. Even the ranged racks not completely dropping, as that seemed to be the target for some of the creeps slash bears. They forced them out, but they used the buyback of that for Strangby, and that is a big blow for them for 4FC.
Yeah, they're forced to use the buyback, so he's not going to be able to get the BKB. And what I was talking about for where buyback's not that good is if he doesn't die first. If he dies at the beginning of the fight and everyone on his team is still alive, the buyback actually becomes very powerful because he can get back in the fight, and he's unlikely to die first anyways if he has the BKB. So it's like kind of a trade. He just didn't have quite the goal to finish that BKB in time, and they needed to defend right then. So it's what ends up making the decision for him. Anti-mage, though, Butterfly, he's going to be doing so much damage.
Yeah, his illusions as well, though, with that extra agility there. I mean, you already saw that in the previous fight. We saw Black. He got under control. He was controlled, but the bear was able to hit the tower. If the bear is being controlled, then you still have Black hitting the tower. So which one would you rather shut down? I don't think there is really a best choice. Just, you know, what is the least dangerous one would be the call. But it is so tough right now to stop the push that will come in from Mousesports soon again, as they already are gathering again on this bottom lane. Black already clearing out the creep wave.
Yep, and they're just going to continue the push. Yeah, Black didn't use the Aegis. I was pretty sure that was the case. They only ended up killing off like support Vengeful Spirit, and they're sitting in the top lane trying to push towards this tier 2 tower top. They can't really stay for it, and they immediately are forced to back off. But Chen has all his creeps here.
We'll have to deal with those later. Oh, Krilly, he just gets, oh my god, he just got burned to death without using fire. That was really a lot of damage coming up from Black. Telekinesis still there, preventing the push a bit, but the last hit is still there for Quakefa, and they can't do anything to stop him right now. You see them waiting. They don't have a last two. They don't have that Bed Rider to help out, and they're just gonna have to watch and see Mousesports just clearing out the base. There's the buyback from the Bed Rider. Maybe they can get something done. The bear still trying to clear out some, as the tower already dead, so already Synderen feeling confident enough to sit there with the Vendetta. Gets an impale on Krilly again. Almost going down again, but this time able to get himself out with the Force Staff. It is Synderen that drops instead, but Alchemist gets burned on the sideline still as Blomberg tries to run himself back to base, but the Shatter is still there from Fada, and that is a team wipe. Mousesports with this fight, with the team on the opposing team, completely clean up. They are deserving indeed a GG. Mousesports taking themselves 3 extra points in StarLadder Season 6, only having been defeated once in StarLadder Season 6. And yeah, still a steady 4th place, I believe, for Mousesports. The convincing win in the end. And just, you know, lesson learned, don't let Black free farm.
You'd think people would learn that lesson, but it's just they don't seem to learn it. They give Black the free farm, so Alchemist or Anti-Mage was really big. Quakefight, he started to get his farm, so they had a really big Lone Druid, and of course, Ancient Apparition with that Aghanim Scepter ult was doing a lot of work this game. That channel got blocked several times in sort of key fights, like when Alchemist got picked off in the bottom lane, forced him to use buyback, and you know, it's a powerful ability. 17-second duration is a very long time, and makes Chen feel kind of weak. He doesn't really do much when, you know, he's got Vlad's Mechanism, Hand of God, and none of those do anything for your carry if they have Ice Blast on him.
Yeah, and as we just saw on the stats, I mean, Mousesports sitting on a 20 winning streak after this game. If you're wondering which team was actually able to defeat Mousesports in StarLadder, I shall tell you it was Rock's Kiss. When they were... it was Rock's Kiss, I believe, not last Sunday, but the Sunday before that. There you go. But yeah, in between them, they've played 20 games. I do like this Ancient Operation shouting there, he's happy and stuff. But oh well, we're gonna see another game coming up because it's a day where we see 7 games in total. The next game that is up is Rock's Kiss taking on Empire, so stick around. And I will be bringing you that game. Of course, we are with a team of 3 for today. We have Hjort. He is assisted by also Maria. They are our stats team for today. We are here as your casters, my co-caster Kanaz, and myself, Sheever. We'll be here for the next games for you as well. So stay tuned. More Dota 2 action coming your way in just a moment.